All right, let's talk about the tropics because we have a new invest to talk about as of now. And this thing could really get its act together. We could be talking about a tropical depression before it's all said and done. But there it is right there, Invest 95L. So this was the one that we were actually watching the last time I showed you this. If you're just now tuning in, yeah, we're watching this area right here. So this is the one that has 70% chance of development over the next several days here. And again, this could become a tropical depression, tropical storm, maybe a hurricane. But again, that's well down the road. And we're going to continue to update this for you. So we'll watch the tropics. And I want you to watch whenever we show you this map. This is basically the spin, anything that you kind of see spinning out there. This is the Euro model. I'm putting this into motion now. So watch the areas that will spin. So we're going to continue to watch this as we go in through September 4th through Monday. Not a whole lot of activity, nothing going on, but watch that one right down there as it gets closer to Barbados. Once again, this is the Euro model. I'm going to then show you what happens as we go in through the GFS model, the same thing. So they're on the same track. Again, this is ways away. These tracks could change, but this is what it looks like as we head over towards Idalia. You're thinking, I thought Idalia was done. Well, it's pretty much done, giving us direct impacts, but yes, we could be dealing with indirect impacts because of all the waves and the surf and those rip currents along the beaches, the eastern beaches here. But this is kind of lopsided. All the activity is off to the north and east, plenty of thunderstorm activity across that area. Unfortunately, this will be impacting, again, Bermuda. And I say again because Franklin impacted Bermuda as well. And then finally, this starts to work its way on off towards possibly maybe Halifax. But we're going to look at this around the Canadian Maritimes in the next few days or so. So this is our setup for today. We do have that area of low pressure just kind of sandwiched in between two high pressures. And with that, we're kind of stuck with this tropical moisture. Unfortunately, you can see that focal point is where we have that stationary boundary, and that focal point is not moving anytime soon. So we're looking at lots of moisture, showers, and thunderstorms as we go through the next several days along the Gulf Coast states. Molly.
Good Saturday morning and welcome into Weekend Recharge. I'm Molly McCullum.
And I'm Lynette Charles. America's weekend depends on the weather. And Molly, we're now in meteorological fall, so you would think that temperatures are kind of going to trend down a little bit.
I don't know about you, but that first fall cold front, I wait for it like a kid on top of the stairs on Christmas morning. Like, I cannot wait for it.
It feels good.
Unfortunately, for so many of us, it's just going to take some time. Summer is...
Molly, in just a few hours, President Joe Biden will be in Florida to see the devastation from Hurricane Idalia. Our Justin Michaels is joining us live from Live Oak with the latest on the recovery efforts. So, Justin, you know, this is what we do here at the Weather Channel. We forecast storms. We know the devastation that can happen, but it never gets old seeing, you know, the devastation behind you, the people, you know, not being able to get in their homes. It's just heartbreaking. Bit later. All right, let's talk about the tropics, an overview because it's still bubbling, it's still ramping up, but of course it's still ramping up because this is a peak season at this point. So we do have lots of circles going on at this point. We have a new Invest, a 95L. This is the one that we're watching, and this is the one that's going to get a little feisty before it's all said and done. With that said, though, it does have some time to brew and stew and do a lot of changing. Let's talk about Idalia once again because still causing problems to Bermuda and even indirectly to the U.S. with those rip currents and that high surf. So the wind sustained at about 60 miles an hour. We can see this around Hamilton causing problems there in terms of the winds. Those winds gusting up to about 51 miles an hour. Lots of lightning on this lopsided system at this point. And it will continue to pull away from Bermuda. That's some good news. And then head up into the Canadian Maritimes. But this is what we have, the view of all the activity just bubbling up, right? We can see that satellite view. But I really want to draw your attention to right down here where not a whole lot of activity, right? Doesn't really look like it's doing anything. This wave off of Africa. But check this out. This wave off of Africa has a 70% chance. So it is likely that this thing is going to become a tropical depression over the next 7 days, a tropical storm before it's all said and done as it continues to head on off towards the west. The GFS model depicting some spins out there in the atmosphere. As we go in through the rest of the weekend, we could see that. But I want you to see what's going on over Barbados. So just keep your eye on that because, again, this is the GFS model and more of the same as we look at the European model as well. So here's the Euro model. Okay, we'll watch once again for, again, the spins. We're seeing spins elsewhere, but the one I really want you to keep your eye on as we go farther in to time, there it is, getting closer to Barbados, does pretty much the same thing headed into the Caribbean, and before it's all said and done, headed towards the U.S. So again, this is days away, Molly, but this is something that we're watching as of now. The National Hurricane Center, again, gives this thing a 70% chance of development pretty soon.
And we're headed toward
as we go through Labor Day, right? We do have Chicago up and not looking bad at all. It's just really nice as we do have these temperatures for the weekend in the 70s. We'll take that, right? Look a little bit chilly. Look, is that too chilly? Look at that number on Sunday when you wake up in the upper 50s there. More of the same as we head into your Monday as well. But a nice mix of sun and clouds out there. So enjoy it because, again, some people are baking this holiday weekend, like New York. We can see that on your Sunday. Lots of sunshine out there. And then Monday, we'll throw in a few more clouds, but temperatures coming in right around 92 degrees. So it is going to be hot. Again, something that you have not dealt with so far this season in terms of 90-degree weather. As we head over towards Jackson, so Saturday, Sunday on the drier side of things, you actually do need some rain. So it's going to be good that you could see some thunderstorms, not necessarily the thunder aspect, but getting wet. That's going to be good. The afternoon, we will see some thunderstorms there. So no need to cancel any plans. Just make sure you plan accordingly and keep it tuned to the Weather Channel so you know exactly what's going on. Let's head over to Denver, where Denver, 95 degrees for today. It's going to be a hot one for sure. As we head into your Sunday, your Monday, temperatures stay in the 90s, and we still have plenty of sunshine, Molly.
Thanks, Lynette. Time of year, at least for me, because I'm a fall lover. It just takes so long to get that crisp, cool air that it is such a reward when you do.
For sure. You know what's funny is that I never really was a fall lover. I could take it or leave it, but I'm becoming a fall lover as well. That crisp air just feels really good.
When you move to the south,
there you go. Amen.
The fall feels a lot better.
Exactly. Let's take you out to a higher, but as you know, if you're already in Texas, if you're in Austin, it's hot. And you guys really haven't had much relief there at all. We look at rainfall totals. So this is for the month of August. And the only thing that sticks out like a sore thumb, meaning your rain, is on the 22nd of August, you had a little over 1/10 of an inch, so 0.14 inches. You had a trace on the 1st, but that doesn't add up in the rain gauges, so it means that you really didn't get a whole lot at all. Let's take a look at the tropical downpours over the past 7 days. Once again, I'll take you back off towards Austin, and you can see how sparse it is over there, right? But in contrast, all the activity really to the east of Austin and Texas, as we have that footprint of Idalia from Tallahassee on up towards Savannah, Columbia. This is where the heaviest rainfall, we're talking about 9 inches in some spots out there and a little over 9 inches. So with this said, I want you to pay attention to the drought monitor and the timeline on this. So you see the date stamp. I'm going to put this into motion. Before I do, you can see things were kind of eaten away. So it wasn't too bad. It was still not the best in Texas. But look what happens as we move through the months. Look how it really starts to fill back in. Unfortunately, we're back into exceptional in San Antonio. We're seeing that as well. And the trend is this. So June 1st, once again in Texas, about 16.2%. We see nothing in Louisiana. And then look at today. That is huge, 61.4%. And then look down in Louisiana, 86.1% of the drought is back. So we definitely need some water, some rain coming in. We're thirsty. The drought level in New Orleans is extreme. We're seeing that around Alexandria as well. And Lake Charles is exceptional. So again, we definitely do need that rain, but we are in that flash drought. And what that means is an unusually rapid onset drought event characterized by a multi-week period of accelerated intensification. Molly, over to you.
All right, sure could use. Charge rolls on. I'm Molly McCollum.
And I'm Lynette Charles. This afternoon, President Joe Biden will be in Florida to see the devastation from Hurricane Idalia.
And our Justin Michaels is in Live Oak with the latest on recovery efforts. Justin, I know yesterday you spent some time in Cedar Key where it was all about the storm surge, but you move inland and it is all about the wind damage.
You know, that devastation behind you with the tree toppled on the house like that, it just is the reason why we say that you have to evacuate, and you have those mandates for evacuations so nobody is in that house. The good news is that at least people have their lives. The property can always be, you know, refurbished, redone, but your life can't. This is what we have right now in terms of the activity out there still, unfortunately. Now, again, we have some cleanup that needs to be done. There are some areas that are going to continue to get some showers and thunderstorms as we go throughout the day. The culprit, the area of low pressure, and this stationary boundary, this is going to be the focal point for the showers and thunderstorms to develop as we continue through the weekend, unfortunately. Fortunately, we need the rain in a lot of spots here, so let's try to look at it with the silver lining. But all in all, right now we are seeing some shower activity around Pensacola, New Orleans, just to the south of you at this point, in Apalachicola, you're dealing with some thunderstorms too. This goes into motion, and watch the focal point again will be around the Gulf Coast states here. So Mobile, Freeport, Apalachicola, you're going to get in on this, and pretty soon New Orleans, you're going to be getting in on this as well. You see me smile because New Orleans, you're like down like 2 feet. You need rain, and even over towards Lake Charles, you'll start to get in on some of that activity too as we head into your Monday. So really what you're seeing here is for the holiday weekend. The timing's not the best, but at least you are getting something good out of it. We just don't want any flooding to go along with it. Still to come right through Monday. We can see pockets of 2 to 3 inches, I should say, but we could see up to about an inch in some spots out there. And then in the tropics, it is still brewing, and we're going to continue to watch Invest 95L because that could turn into something next week.
Schools are taking precautions to keep fans safe. Football's back.
Exactly. That's exciting. Joining us now is Nick Joes, Senior Associate Athletic Director at Iowa State University. Thank you so much for talking with us this morning. We appreciate it.
It's great to be with you guys.
Appreciate that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are letting fans bring in their own water bottles, and also they have refilling stations, correct?
That is correct. We have numerous.
You need some cool air to go to, too. Sometimes water just isn't enough. Is there a place that fans can find some cool air in the stadium today?
There is. We have
the game. We love watching the game, but tailgating is a staple as well. So is there anything that the university is doing to make sure the fans stay safe in the heat when they're tailgating before or during the game?
Yeah, in the morning, you get to the afternoon, you're like, I could really use a cloud. How about the players? Of course, they're going to be working really hard on the field, trying to get a victory. How will you keep them from overheating during the game?
Sure. Well, there's a lot of games.
Nick, you know, football fans are excited. Football is back. Is there any other advice that you might have for the fans to keep cool in this heat?
I think it's just about being.
Obviously, today we're talking about the heat a lot, but it is football season, and we can get all types of weather when it comes to football season. One thing that comes to my mind is always lightning and, you know, thunderstorms. What is the plan for that for your stadium?
So
exactly, we always deal with lightning in the fall. Well, Nick Joes from Iowa State University, which, by the way, at the Weather Channel, we love a good weather-themed football team, and they're the Cyclones.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, I love that. Good luck and stay cool for today. All right, so let's and move forward, 1 foot in front of the other, right? All right, let's take a look at what's going on because we're still talking about the tropics, and we're going to be talking about the tropics for a long time now because, again, we're just ramping this up. And you can see, oh, boy, are we ramped up. We do have plenty of areas that we're watching. We have tropical storms Katia, even Katia. That's the way you pronounce that one, Katia. We're going to be watching that one. Not really going to be affecting us all that much. Gert tried to come back to life. That's not going to be affecting us so much. And we're still talking about Idalia out there. But Invest 95, this is the one that we're going to be watching as we go into next week. It has about a 70% chance as it's come off Africa as a wave. It's going to really possibly develop into a storm before it's all said and done. But the tropical depression will come first in the next 7 days. And this is what we have in terms of watching that spin, right? This is the Euro model, and I want you to watch it. So again, remember, we're watching that 70%, the one that came off of Africa. As we head in through the weekend, not such a big deal. We're not seeing too many spins moving off towards the west. But look what happens as we go a little bit further in time. So around Thursday, look at Barbados to the north of that, and then it's headed over towards Haiti, that area, Hispaniola. Now watch what happens when we look at the GFS model. We're starting to see more of the same, right? Not a whole lot as we go through the rest of this weekend, but watch what happens as we work our way in through next week. You can see it by Barbados there, and then again, making its way off towards Hispaniola. So we're watching some models coming together, but Molly, like I said before, this still is ways away, and the models are going to continue to spit out different outputs.
Which is good. We have a lot of... Good Saturday morning and welcome into Weekend Recharge. I'm Molly McCullum.
And I'm Lynette Charles. America's weekend depends on the weather. And Molly, I know people are like, oh, it's September, you know, temperatures are going to... Not so fast.
Instead they're going the other way.
Exactly.
And it's in some places so much so that we're talking records.
Yes.
And that means you in the upper Midwest. In the north.
In just a few hours, President Joe Biden will be in Florida to see the devastation from Hurricane Idalia. Our Justin Michaels joining us live from Live Oak with the latest on the recovery efforts. Justin, we see this. I see the pictures behind you. It's devastation. And of course, it's going to make you feel sad, bad, make you cry. But are there people there that you're seeing that they have some glimmer of hope, like a silver lining somewhere?
Sure.
As well. All right, we'll get back to you a little bit later, but let's talk about the tropics, because the tropics quite active, and this is what we would expect for this time of the year, right? We talked about Invest 95L. This is the one that is really going to pose a problem. It could pose a problem for us in the days to come. It looks like everything else may get us, but it's not. So let's delve into what's going on with post-tropical, I should say, Idalia at this point. Not a whole lot of activity. Now, what I will say about Idalia, it's not directly affecting the U.S. anymore. The eastern seaboard, the beaches there, it is indirectly affecting us with those waves, with the rip currents. But Bermuda, you are really in for it at this point as this continues to bring in plenty of lightning. It's kind of lopsided at this point, but all in all, going to be dealing with some winds, some heavy rain across the area, and then it will begin to push away from Bermuda. So that's some good news from them, because remember, Franklin was on their back door as well. So this will continue to work its way on off to the north. It's going to head to the Canadian Maritimes, and it's going to be a Dunzo. That's some good news there with Idalia. Now let's talk about this one. This is the one that we are going to be watching in the future now, as this is a wave off of Africa, and this now is what we're watching about 70% as we go in through the next several days. Invest 95L. So we have the hurricane hunters flown into this, and it's something to be investigated, right? They have to figure out what's going on, if this could become something in the next several days, and it looks like it could as we look at this GFS model, the spin out there. So watch what happens as we go through the rest of this weekend. Not a whole lot of activity. The GFS model, the Euro model, they're pretty much in agreement at this point. But again, things could change. Look what happens as we go over towards Barbados. You're starting to see a little bit of that spin, right? More of the same as we look at Euro model. So we're going to go back into motion. This is for this weekend. Not a whole lot of activity. Again, you can see what's happening. I just showed you that. And then as we work our way in through time, as we head into your Wednesday, your Thursday of next week, more of the same. Just to the north of Barbados, this thing tries to get its act together, and this is when we're really going to continue to monitor it, because it could blow up. It could be something before it's all said and done. Right now, it does look like the GFS and the Euro are on the same track, but things could change. This is days and days away, but when we look at those tracks and the origins, this is where we see the development off the southeast coast, back into the Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico as well, Molly.
Pretty much everywhere
is going to be on the hot side in some spots, but let's start you out with some areas not looking too bad, right? So look at Seattle. On today, it's going to be on the warm side in Seattle, but then we start to see that silver lining there, because again, this is what you're used to in Seattle. Yes, we do have more clouds out there. Again, kind of used to that as well, but those temperatures are going to drop as well. So that's some good news in Seattle. In Miami today, temperatures in the upper 80s, not too bad. You do have the hit or miss thunderstorms out there. And then Sunday and Monday looks to be drier as you head on out to the beach. But of course, we are going to be on the hot side with those temperatures right around 90 degrees on both days. And then LA, you look pretty good, right? Today we see more clouds out there, temperatures in the mid 70s, but by your Sunday, more sunshine in the forecast. Temperatures will bump up to the upper 70s before it's all said and done here. And Raleigh, oh yes, lots of sunshine, beautiful. Saturday, mid 80s, but then it gets quite hot on your Sunday with that temperature right around 93 degrees. Molly.
Find a pool.
We're helping you start the school year off right. Meteorologist Jackie Jarris and Alex Wallace are helping families get ready to head back to the classroom.